What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here, welcoming you to part 41 and the second last part of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tiktaq'to Immortal Empires campaign. Now, this was actually going to be the final episode, and you may notice me talking about this as if it was the final episode throughout the episode because, well, that's the way I'm recording it, but I ended up fighting so darn many fights, as well, frankly, as I usually do, getting final fights for lots and lots of lords, that it kind of ballooned into too long of an episode, so I decided to split it in half instead. So this is the second to last episode, the semi-final episode, wherein there will be plenty of fights and then there will be one more. So yeah, pardon the little cut because I had to redo the intro for this one so that it made more sense. Breaks. Admittedly, this campaign has been won, I don't know, a while ago now. Most of the enemies are relegated to the Northern Chaos Wastes and Norska, and we have massive buffer states that are doing pretty darn well. Most of the enemies are no real threat to us in any way. Anyway, what we're going to do for this last episode is try to get a few nice battles going and see if we can't get a few of the missing units on field just real quick to have a little bit of fun with it. We got the Gekalo maybe to screw around with, and a few of the others. Did I ever get the... Okay, I'm actually now trying to recollect. We did not get the... Wait a minute. One second. Where are we here? Oh, okay, there they are. The Shilodokus. We need to put them in this army. I guess we could do it next turn because you have... Wait, you have the Plague, but you have the Coatl for Tlaqua. I'd like to send him after Warband if possible. I guess what we could do is just grab a couple of the Thunder Lizards, like, what, mini Thunder Lizards, like so. Start moving you over there. You don't have the Plague now. After all, and this Plague will leave in 2 turns, and if Warband should choose to attack us while we're damaged, well, I'm perfectly happy to let him do so. If he wants to attack Quetgar instead, I'm also perfectly happy to do so, for letting him do so, whatever. Anyway, what else do we have? I'm gonna have Gorog besiege the massive Orcal, because we can. And we may as well clear the orcs out. I don't know where Grom went. I swear he was around, but no good. Alright, you besiege this, we'll see if they sally out and are willing to fight. Granted, we effectively got the final battle with Gorok against Noctilus, where, I mean, his army was in its current state already, so I'm not super after that particular fight. There are other more important ones. You guys kind of just sit on Ulthuan. I don't think we need to push you out any further. Like so. And just sort of stay here. And there we go. Obviously, we could send them up north, but they've got their final battles. Mostly, I think it's just missing units that I'm more interested in. Alrighty, anybody else need to move before we end the turn and just proceed? Oshiotla, you... I mean, you can raise Ironstorm if you like, just because we're kind of doing that, fine. I would like to move you towards Red Fortress. Maybe we'll encounter a village or an army that could potentially, possibly give you some kind of, raise... give you some kind of challenge, although I have my doubts anyway. Keep on moving. Free Zote Servant. But we never got Zotes, but it was basically impossible to get any units from the Wood Elves, as I did want those. Well, I wanted both the Zotes and the Toxic Venom from the Sisters of the Thorn. Alright, obviously that's not worth fighting. Full of garbage, and occupy. Alright, just so that we have this entire province here, and then you can go into alignment of monuments. Not that we really care that much about building anything here, so it's all good, more or less. I guess you can build the alignment just because it bothers me not to build anything. Alright, Izozyme, you are good there, and your final sort of form of your army. You can go here, you can attack, oh actually you can't attack, so just sit here as well, and channel 14C bit. Alright, so you guys are good, you guys are good. Tic-Tac is going to wait a little bit. I guess we want to occupy Eagle Ares before moving back towards Gitter here. Actually, you can move back a little bit, I want to see what these guys do. Skip, and then the turn. I'm just going to assume I haven't forgotten anything at this point. Oh, birds. We're kind of sending you this way. Oh, I wonder if this guy can attack us in the middle of the sea with that. Okay, I did admittedly forget that army, and oh, Mazda. I mean, if anybody's brave enough to attack you, or insane enough to attack you, I wish them well, let's say. I did want to pick up the jungles at Tiktaqto, but only if we can get an actual fight out of it. As in, if there are enemies there. Nagorod, we'll take the exiles in a hex, sure, why not, I don't care. Not like they're of any real threat. We're besieging Massive Cal, and we're besieging Krad Tommen. That is a Clan Moors territory. Fair enough. Karazakarak. Oh, wow. -1 to 12. You really don't like us. No non-aggression pact. And you're recovering only by virtue of the fact that, low casualties. Is this worth fighting? I mean, they do have some blackworks and stuff. Yeah, I guess we could give Gorok one final fight. I do like the guy. Let's go. Alrighty, here we go. Arguably our tankiest army under Gorok. If we, well, I was about to say if we ignore the life slan, but the life slan is there to heal extremely fragile units, so it's kind of on the fence as to whether it's actually tanky. Anyway, I mean it is, but is it? Anyway, we have got the Blessed Saurus Warriors supported by Leonardo's, Donatello's, Raphael's, and Michelangelo's, plus the shell-clad Bulwark, our turtles. And let's see how well they do here. Enemy's gonna head towards us, Black Orcs and Arachnaroks and Giants and Trolls and whatnot. Here comes the Arachnarok to lead, and we're not going to move towards the enemy. We're allowing the enemy artillery to drop their stones on our heads, and we'll just see what that gives them. And the Arachnarok has been met by our Saurus Scarvet over on the left flank, and the Carnosaur, I'm sure, will tear it to shreds, though the Blessed Saurus Spears with their massive 88 weapon strength are certainly going to help. As we've started to do later in the game, we're not using the turtles to just snipe, but sending them into melee to fight together with the Saurus, and of course firing point blank with those, I don't know, turtle guns, whatever you want to call them, and we've seen them do pretty good work in that way, and I imagine that this particular battle will be no exception. Two giants have joined the Arachnarok all the way on the left flank, where it seems the enemy is going to send the strongest units, and thus Gorok, who is currently in the center, will peel away from that and join the left flank to, anchor the line. Who better to anchor a line than the Rock of Itza, after all? Legion of Tlaqua is still holding the center. Even without Gorok, I'm sure they can hold back Black Orcs, Biggins, and Orc Boys alike without any trouble. And by the look of the balance of power, this has so far been the case. Going to try to help our Saurus out by breaking down some of those Black Orcs a little bit faster with burning alignment. There we go, always fun to watch, and a little sort of, I don't know, laser cutting sound that it does. Makes me happy. Balance of power has shifted to about 85% in our favor, and we have still not summoned Riperdactyls on those Goblin Rock Lobbers, giving the enemy all the chances. But if you take a look at our HP values, everything is hovering between 95, 98, and 100%. Gorok making those biggins look very tiny by comparison. He's a big boy after all. The Arachnarok has fallen. I believe one of the giants has fallen as well, and the second one is fleeing. Oh, this one has not yet fallen, but it's about to fall, while the second one runs away, leaving its comrade. As the enemies back away from the line, routing their first time, our turtle guns will shoot them in the back, and as they rally and run back towards us, and the turtle guns will continue gunning them down. Alright, bounce power's at about 90% in our favor now. The enemy's completely failed on the left flank, or on the right flank, or rather. The giant has fallen, and the other giant has returned, but I'd wager not for long. Frankly, I'm surprised that the enemy army has not yet shattered, though with the Black Orc big bosses fleeing and a few enough enemy units remain in the fight. that I don't expect they, will be in the fight for too much longer. There we go, our Saurus Scarvet has brought down the second giant with his Carnosaur now. Boar Boy is going to charge back into the rear of the Saurus, but will fail because the turtles once again prevent that. Yeah, it's really, this is why monstrous infantry and sort of, what do you call these guys? Ancient Warbeast, well, sure, Ancient Warbeast. Yeah, this is why interspersing them among your line of infantry just works so well. It screws monsters over who don't have enough mass to push through. It screws cavalry over who don't have enough mass to get their charges to great effect or disrupt your formation. And it's certainly very nice when those same Warbeasts or monstrous infantry also have a ranged attack to them. Alright, and it's one of the things that makes the Crypt Horrors, well, Crypt Horrors, yes, but the Rotting Promethean Gunnery mobs so good. Anyway, with that, it looks like the Orcs will break, and the battle will be ours. The Turtles and the Saurus alike will give chase, and I'm sure we'll bring enough of them down that we'll be able to auto-resolve what remains here in short order. Very, very nice. I'm not sure that we have lost a single unit, and even if we did, it would have been revivified by our copious amounts of healing. Fantastic. Alright, there we go. 0 losses and no problem at all. We got 32,000, 41,000 on a couple of the Blessed Saurus. That's the bleed variants, although the spears didn't do too bad either. 37 and 8. 18, really, they ran a range. It depends on which unit got hit by the most. Over on the left flank, where the enemy hit us hardest, that's where we got the 36,000 and the 32,000. And then on the Turtles, we got 5, 11, and 8, roughly 10,000, which is not too bad considering they're tanky units, and 10,000 is pretty solid. In fact, they're basically even with the weaker damage dealing unit of Saurus, and of course providing that much needed line anchor and preventing the enemy from using their mass and adding that range support. All very nice. Well, we don't need to heal, that's for certain. We don't really need anything. Alright, the massive orc cow will fall, and I presume that the orcs here will be destroyed as well. We've saved Bretonia from the Skaven. Now it's only appropriate that we save him from the orcs as well. I mean, otherwise, who's going to oppress the peasants? We're too lazy to do it ourselves. May as well let the experts take a crack at it or continue to do so. Anyway, what is this? Ambush! Hey, looks like the... Okay, we're not destroying a Croxy. A stand and fight, sure, why not? And we will just auto-resolve these guys. We've already fought them, and we already know we obliterate these armies with no problems. We will heal this, though, and continue on our merry way, and add a few more Gekalo to that Gekalo army. One of the tech thieves is wounded. Annoying, but not super relevant. Ooh! Wait. Thus, oh, I didn't know this existed. Impenetrable wall. Defense. You're telling me this gives us a plus 10 melee defense? All you have to do is win melee battles? I don't think I've ever gotten this, or if I have, I've never noticed it before. I didn't know that was so strong. Damn, I gotta make use of more defensive battles. How many defensive battles have you even fought, Gorok? Huh, I guess he's been around with us for a while, but that's insane. His melee defense is up at 85 without buffs now, and without, well... He's got some points in his equipment. Anyway, raise, sack, occupy, does not matter. You're going to spend the rest of your campaign there. Preternatural swiftness is good. Bears of Quila is ours. We will uncollect the income, and then you will end your campaign there, sir. We got the next tech coming anyway, so we can ignore that. And otherwise, hello, Bellacore. I wish our army wasn't so pathetic. I guess we could get the final battle for the bird army against you. It would be better if your army wasn't pathetic, but, you know. Mazda, you cannot catch these guys, so you can land at the Isle of Wights instead then, and then grab Conquata. Is it worthy of a final battle there? I guess we'll see once we're there. Alright, good. And occupy. And, oh, I wanted to get the additional XP, like, from these guys to level up the Juradon to, oh. They're only on rank 5. It's all good. We already have some C-beams. Anyway, I guess I was looking for a final battle for the bird army, and we'll take it here. There are... I mean, I was going to put regular Kulkan to join the Kulkan Riders, but we don't have those as options, so let's just get 4 more Cursonics for this. More birds, why not? I don't think our bird slan will... Whatever the opposite of appreciated is. Melee defense when defending. Now, I want to get Quetzal's design, weapon strength and melee attack, so we'll do that. And we do have Barona's Time Warp already. Do we need anything else from it? A Light of Battle is okay because of the immunity to contact effects, which we don't have otherwise on these units. And there are some nasty contact effects in the enemy army, so why not? Light of Battle. Might as well max that out together with Faw's Protection so we could spam it a little bit more. I do want Astral Oracle, though. Just principle of the thing and all of that. Oh, you know what? I don't like both of the old ones. Maybe it's time to go for Blessing of the Old Ones instead. We have the overcast of these anyway, so we're fine. Blessing of the Old Ones it is. And Be'lakor. I wasn't looking to get Bella the Ball on you. Was looking to get it on Mazda Mundi, but, you know, birds, birds, birds. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The birds and the Be'lakors. And Be'lakor has brought a Chaos Dragon to play. We'll see how our High Elven Eagles together with our Carsonics work against them. We have 2 units of Carsonics and, well, 1 unit of Eagles per enemy flyer. 1 set for Be'lakor and 1 set for that Great Chaos Dragon, both of which shed about 20% of their HP on the charge. Our big birds, our big ground birds, have also made their way forward, and we're going to buff them up with various things. Light of Battle, Barona's Time Warp, giving them a massive melee attack. Look at that weapon strength as well. They are clearly focused on the enemy aspiring champions right now, though there's a lot of other things here, but it's all getting crushed by these big birds, while the Slam just kind of hangs out on the hill, waits, and drops the occasional spell. Looks like the Eagles and the Carsonics have torn the Great Chaos Dragon to shreds at this point, and it is attempting to escape, while the rest of the birds turn their beaks and talons upon Be'lakor, who drops the rest of his HP and then drops out of the sky as well. It would have been really nice if you had done that on cue, you useless. Alright, he's gone. He can't hear me. Anyway, with the fall of Be'lakor from the sky, it looks like the battle is ours. The Kulkan Riders did run down the enemy fast movers like the Hounds and whatnot, and then went after the more fragile elements of the enemy army, Forsaken and whatnot. But at the end of the day, with the Carsonics and the Eagles supporting them, they were able to punch above their weight, and they have lots and lots of models, so they have a greater or easier time chasing things down. Really happy with the big ground birds as well. I've been forgetting their names every time. Rhikophorus maybe? Been pretty darn happy with them. Again, they hit really, really hard, don't they? Lots of weapon strength, and the Blessing of the Old Ones that we decided to get for this battle is quite nice and helpful for them. High damage dealing. Anyway, everybody tore everybody to shreds, and the birds win another day. Alrighty, there we go. The bird brains take down Be'lakor. Another insult to him, which is just kind of hilarious. Well, at least now he learns to fear the birds as well. Solid work out of the Eagles, hovering around 15k, 20k on the Rhikophorus, the big birds, the big ground birds, with 27k being the best one. Probably delivered to those aspiring champions that we had them focused down. Around 5,000 to 6,000 on the various Carsonics, and they're tier 2 units, so that shouldn't be surprising. It kind of makes sense to have them as the bulk of our sort of army. And then 21, 17, 27, and 19 on our Kulkan Riders, who admittedly have done fairly well, both throughout the campaign and just generally speaking. Chocobo Riders, Chocobo Ones, Sanders, Swift Slayers, and Emu Skinks. And this was your final battle, and we bid farewell to you as well as Big Burb, and I think we didn't name the Carsonics, but anyway, a lovely fight and lovely birds. Anyway, we'll take the healing in case we need to sink another ship here. I imagine, yeah, Bell of the Ball. I imagine it won't let us auto-resolve this, will it? Well, we'll move in. I don't think we need to fight again because this is much weaker than Be'lakor's army was. Just want to see Pyrrhic victory. Yeah, no one will die. Good, we'll just sink it, whatever. All good. I'm just going to assume you want stuff for attrition, and no, you're good. So you can go back to our shores, and... Or you could go here, in the Isle of Wights as well. Yeah, go here, why not? Okay, so you could sink these guys, though. Although I fear that if you... just land here, you're better off doing so. Actually, you, Mazdamundi, go here, you can go into the Isle of Wights. I assume that you actually can. Yes, beautiful. Alright, safer that way, and then you can encircle. We have one more turn of immunity to attrition, but as soon as it ends, we will suffer attrition, so I'm not sure, so I risk it. Alright, a nice finale for you. The northern tip of Ulthuan is safe, and what the heck are you doing? Alright, kill that. Auto-resolve, obviously. Now, these guys have already been destroyed, we just need to, need to make sure that they know it. Go after these guys. You're not going to be able to catch these Black Arcs, are you? They've been running away for ages now, and they just keep, oh, never mind. Okay, game. Always take every opportunity to make me look like a fool, huh? Damn you, game. Alrighty, but I guess we're good. There you go, Digga. Would have loved to have used these Ictlamimus, but once again, they're pretty much identical to the Amexon Barb, so it's not the biggest of deals. We'll send you north in case we find something nice, but if we don't, it's not critical. Alright, so you guys are now good. You're sitting pretty. We have so dang much territory. We have... Oh, Kanquatok. You leveled up. As long as you heal up. Do you have a... You have a fan waiver. Do you have a hibernation attendant? Not the administrator. I don't think that does anything for it. Grab a hibernation attendant just to heal up a teensy bit more. That auto-resolve did hurt you, I admit. You don't need paleontol... Well, I mean... Wait, it doesn't apply to Croxies, does it? I don't believe it... Wait, it doesn't apply to Croxies, but it applies to the Gekalo? It's a little bit odd. Well, either way, I want to max out Skirmisher, so that's still gonna happen. Alright, anyway. You're good, I'm sure. And if we have to manually fight, then I'm sure you'll manually win. You. Attack Radtomen. I was waiting or hoping that the enemy would come in while you're besieging with a full stag, but it looks like they haven't, so you'll occupy... In fact, you'll loot and occupy for the additional healing. And we'll try to find another place to go, hopefully with a proper army. Summer Seas Plague. Now, I wanted to get some Gekalo Spitters, which we now have at least one more. That's you, the range variant. Maybe one more Charger as well, because they act as the main line for the army. I mean, yeah, we could just replace other units with more Gekalo. I mean, I guess, yeah, fine. Is that so? You go in, and then we'll have you transfer some units, or the rest of the Skinks, and possibly even the Dinos, and just fill it up with Gekalo. And, oh! Looks like Imric has killed off Gorbat. Alright, I wasn't expecting that. Fair enough. Quetgar, keep moving forward. You can maybe chase down Skarsnik. The dwarfs really don't like us. I mean, after what Mazdamundi did to them, but anyway. You go here. Go around to Black Crag. We might get a fight out of this. And then you can sort of follow. I'd love to transfer that pile of units, but only if the plague doesn't get transferred. And of course, grab a couple... Did I not get you 2 of those? Huh? Oh, apparently I only got you 1. What the heck? Okay. Why? Maybe we ran out of money. Alright. I definitely want to see those guys in action at least once before we go. Anyway, you guys are now good. Tiktaq'to. Well, first of all, Kale Kano, take Eagle Ares. And auto-resolve, and hey, these guys will get hurt, but they won't die. And loot and occupy just to heal up in case Gorth the Cruel decides, you know what, I'm gonna attack you. Build defenses, not that it matters in any significant way. And build and upgrade, and yeah, we're obviously not doing any more building, so we're good. What if these guys will dare to attack Tic-Tac? Tic-Tac. Attack-Tac, I don't know. Anyway, you guys are good. Oshiotla... What the heck is this? We just raised this nonsense. How dare you exist here? Oh, village. A moment. We can draw village into a fight against Oshiotla. Alright, we got Oshiotla's we got his final battle. I'm too excited to form words correctly. Although my capability of forming words correctly suffers in general. But anyway, Parasaur Rider teams, feral Troglodons, and piles of skinks. I guess we could get Swift Rider for the Parasaurus? Maybe? Do we want to grab Deadeye for Oshiotla instead? Maybe. Alright, let's do this. 1 point in Deadeye, 2 points in Deadeye. I mean, You know what? Let's get 2 points like this. There we go. Even it out a little bit. And what about the oracles? Level 26, level 22, and then what are you, a skink chief? You, I believe, will just grab... I don't know, go for Minor Blessing of Tepok again. Spell resistance. Against Villager or against any Zinchun, it should come in handy. Otherwise, you're pretty good. Missile resistance, probably not super needed here. We could go through Marked for Service still. They are skink. It is a skink army after all. Anyway, you, I don't know, keep it up with the Blessings of Tepok. And again, it's Tiktaq'to's faction, so it makes sense to spam Tepok. Harmonic Convergence and Flockadum and Vissen's Wild Form. I do like all of those. I would also like the additional speed offered by this, though, so let's get that. We'll ignore this, and we'll get a second point in our Harmonic Convergence in case we want to overcast it, and we'll grab Flock of Doom, because we do use it a lot, to be, you know, honest. Tepok, and Harmonic Convergence is maxed out, so Vissen's Wild Form, yes, yes, and Flock of Doom. Beautiful. Alrighty, you're ready for your final fight, sir, so start moving in regular stance this way. We're not going to declare war immediately because Oscar Trollheuer is still there. Declare war upon you. And we're not going to join anybody. I just want to make sure that we get the final fight against Village, and this forces him into the fight because he's right beside it. Let's see how he does. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The last fight, presumably, for Oshiotl. And, well, hopefully it's a good one. I've certainly enjoyed him and his work in the past. He's probably given us the best moment of the campaign with that bonk of that blood letter so many episodes ago now that he sent flying off the wall with his blowpipe. It was just fantastic. Anyway, the battle starts with an enemy Marauder Pathfinder. Oh, it feels so weird not to have the Marauder Pathfinders when playing Sail as a Norscan option now, or the Fimir Mirgs, but anyway. Now the Pathfinder is pretty much done for with 282 HP, while the rest of the enemy army moves towards this half of our own army. We've actually separated our army in two, 4 units of Skink Skirmishers and Chameleon Skinks, together with 2 units of Parasaur riding teams, plus 1 Skink Oracle and 1 Troglodon over on one side of the map, and then the same exact unit count repeating itself on the other side, simply because the enemy army was deployed around this big old volcano thing. I don't know what to call that. I never know what to call that. I think in every campaign, every time I encounter those weird rock formations, I always wonder what I would actually call them. And nobody's enlightened me. Maybe they don't exist, or maybe such a similar thing doesn't exist. Come on, geology people. You gotta give me something. Anyway, Feral Manticore falls as it tried to charge our line of skinks, but was intercepted by the Skink Oracle, which did take a little bit of damage, but, you know, you gotta use the big beastie to prevent the other big beastie from charging our lines. Though as to whether it would have effectively managed to do so remains to be seen. Otherwise, it looks like the enemy is failing to reach our lines. Javelins and blow darts coming down upon the enemy, and of course the various different types of ammunition that Oshiotl allows. Sees the Marauder army pretty much destroyed. Of course, a village at this point has arrived on the field, and it looks like a decent amount of his army is going for the part of our army that doesn't have Oshiotl with it. And, well, good luck to him, I suppose. We have also not had to commit our Chameleon Stalkers as yet, so they still have their limited and extremely high damaging ammunition, their precursor weapons, available for if the enemy does manage to close the distance. Well, they can just keep on trying. Meanwhile, we're going to make sure we run down all the Norscan units, and since a greater Chaos Dragon, or Great Chaos Dragon, has arrived, we're going to summon our Ripperdactyls to surround it while it gets pinned in place by the Skink Chief, and hopefully they can all tear it to shreds. Once again, we've seen the summoned Ripperdactyls take out many a big single entity. And I imagine the Great Chaos Dragon, especially with the help of the Skink Chief, will be no different here. In fact, it's already lost about 50% of its HP, while the very slow village and the rest of his army still make their way towards us. Those elements that have peeled away to the sort of right side with our other half, without a Shiotla, have so far been destroyed. And they continue attempting to close the distance. Barrier is helping them at least take a couple of volleys, but unfortunately for them, the units with the slow death are on this side of the map, which means the damage over time is pretty severe in combination. Look at that. Slow death, bleed, lethal poison, sundered armor, and regular poison. And once again, I'm salty that we couldn't get any wood elf units. I feel like next time I do a modded run, I'm probably going to just use the mods that increase the allegiance gain and decrease the allegiance cost of units. I mean, if you're gated by the number of things anyway, and, you know, if you use the honor system to reduce the units to keep the units to, you know, sort of a lawful limit, it's fine. Why deprive yourself of the fun of some extra army compositions? Anyway, the village's army has arrived and is now heading towards Oshiotla, who will back up just a little bit, but continue laying down that withering fire of javelins and blow darts. Still, and pretty darn effective, I might add. The Forsaken may be heavily armored, but not so heavily armored that they can take this much punishment. And so far, I'm not sure that Village has been using too much in the way of offensive spells. He does have a couple of pink fires that I believe... No, he is not. Interesting. Maybe he... Well, I mean, again, he is very slow, so maybe he has not gotten close. Hey, there we go. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. The pink fires will hit our blessed chameleon skinks, but do comparatively little damage. Trolls make their way forward. We've been saving our chameleon stalkers, rather, precursor weapons exactly for this, and those trolls melt away under that extremely high damaging fire. 287 missile strength on the blessed variant. And just absolutely tears everything to shreds. In fact, with that, only Village, I believe, remains on field. Okay, one unit is rallying. A Village will now get focused down by every single unit from the army and melt away in effectively a single volley. Cool little gravity anomaly from all the javelins and whatever is in there. And with that, a Village escapes the battlefield, and the battle is ours, our army pretty much completely unharmed. Alright, there we go. Nice final fight for Oshiotla, who obliterated Village and the rest of his army without any issue whatsoever. Raised the place as well. And yeah, the fact that with all of those blessings and just everything that we have, what is it again? It's 25% spell resistance on these guys, 65% spell resistance on the Blessed Skink Skirmishers, though. And, okay, every single unit has different spell resistances, but it's pretty solid all across. Anyway, Village is done, and, yeah, I don't think we'll be finding any more solid fights up here anyway, so, yeah. Also, how's that wall doing? I'm sure they're fine. I really wish that they would fully garrison them with these armies rather than sitting around on Gao, but, you know, it doesn't matter. Their enemies are gone. Anyway, Kala, do you want to take this place? I mean, you're not a real army. It was just extra units that we had, so I don't really care about getting the fight with you. So I guess we'll just move up to it and... Okay, actually, you can keep channeling. And then raise it, or possibly just give it to these guys. I don't really care. Alrighty, you better not die like an idiot. Anyway, that's all good. These guys don't need to move anymore. Ah, there's Queeky. I was looking for you with Zatata. Hopefully we can find a proper fight against him afterwards. Quetgar is done moving, and I think we are good for another end turn, unless I'm mistaken. So skip, end turn. And just a few more. And Nakai, I somewhat forgot about you. You kind of were going to the Black Pyramid in theory. Although, admittedly, you don't have any, I mean, you don't have any units that we haven't seen a million times already, so again, I'm not the most keen on it. The real final fight is going to come in with Tiktaq'to at Jarna Grund. Tamarkan, you want peace? No. I'm not surprised that you do, but no. Servants of the Conclave can't declare war on their own, right? Actually, don't know. Well, I guess if they attack our slightly damaged army there, we'll know. I mostly just don't want them stealing the final fight from Tiktaq'to because he's been hoping for that one, as I think it'll be an actual very difficult fight. Fire glaives are such a great counter to everything that Tiktaq'to has in his army, which is why I want that fight in particular. They're resistant to fire, they're anti-large, so the Ripperdactyls won't work against them, the Bolas won't work against them, it's all just fantastic. Anyway, you don't need to intervene, you just ignore. And piss off those Geckolos some more, just because we can. Magic drained, rude. Sacrifice to Mathan, while fails, technology researched, good. Another Sun Standard of Chotek, and otherwise we're ignoring this. I believe, we're at 50 Old One's favor. Grab sequence of channeling, and then on to Geomantic healing soonish after. Alright. Though I don't know whether we'll actually get there or bother to get there. We certainly don't need to get there, and what the heck? Did you really? Huh, that's surprising. And they got an Arachnarok Spider Flinger. I was not expecting them to actually build one of those. We don't need to fight this because they'd get obliterated like nobody's business. We did get a little bit more hurt than I'd like. Also had maximum alignments for a while. Let's pop up a couple of masteries of Tlaqua. Just mastery of Ripperdactyls. Yeah, do another one. There you go. Alrighty, and then Tiktaq'to, you can encamp. And actually, wait, do you need to encamp? Yeah, you're healing just fine. Can go back to Karak Vlag. In order to meet up with you, we will attack it together-ish. And by attack it, I mostly mean auto-resolve it. We're just waiting here to attack Gorth, but at the same time to get Tiktaq'to his final unit for his final fight, which might, you know, be a bit. Ezozyme and Co., I don't believe you guys need to really do anything. Oh, they ran away. Alright, I guess you can, I mean, you can go over here as well. Alright, you go here. Which is barely defended now. I guess we could just auto-resolve it, and then you can sit here for the rest of the campaign, and you can go over there. Alright, go over there then. Wait, what's the likelihood that these guys attack with both of their armies? Can you go into ambush stance? Alright, kill this. Resolve. Obviously no damage. Occupy. I don't really care about the red territory. But, the heck? Occupied Bastion Gatehouse? Well, that was I was not expecting. Is this Bastion Gatehouse 2 then, or no? Or is this? Yeah, it is. Huh. I didn't realize these were here. That's cool. Our garrison is still kind of terrible here, but it's kind of cool. Can we build? We can't build anything there. Huh. Look at that. Maybe the game doesn't even expect us to come up here. Anyway, you go into ambush stance and then go right here. Just in case both of these armies decide to attack Kala. I don't think that they will, but yeah. Anyway, you guys sit there and mostly protect the other factions. I guess we could send Donsianam up here. There you go. Though I wasn't necessarily gonna move you. Zatan is running around. We can... The heck? Piles of iron demons. I think we all know that they get trounced by a Shiotla's stack. And Shiotla, you are going to go into ambush stance. Let's see what this guy does. In fact, maybe move a little bit closer to him, just because it's funny. Not because I'm expecting a fight out of it. Alright, so you guys are all good. Mazda Mundi, I would like you to get your final battle here at Conquata. We have some units. We'll see if they sally out. If they sally, we'll fight. If they don't, we won't. I would like it if they did. Because I want the final fight with these guys. Also, you guys are rank 5. Yeah, you're not reaching rank 6 before the end of the campaign, but that's alright. Mazda, you have Tepok's Wisdom. We could go for Slan Fury, although you're more melee heavy than range heavy, really. We could also go through reserves of Eldritch Energy, but frankly, regardless of what you do, you're going to be stupidly strong. Geomantic Resistance, and then start going to Becoming Conscious. What about you? I'm just leveling these guys up in case we actually get a fight. Do you have that defensive? Yeah. Esteemed Combatant, that's what I wanted. Protection of the Old Ones, Spell Resistance. I'd rather have Blade Master. Make you deliver those blows a little bit better. And where are you going? Are you sure you want to go to Ulthuan? The elves never had these kind of defenses. You, Digga, go out here. And what are we looking for here? One moment. Anybody have 9? Okay, you have 19 troops. You have 9, not maximum troops. We have the additional Gekalo, but they won't fit in here. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so you guys are good. You can sit there. Celestia will probably be overrun by the Exhaustive. Heck, if we really wanted to, we could give them like 1 billion gold. I'm just too lazy to press the button 50,000 times. Anyway, Dringo Karaz, you will besiege this now. And then you will move this way. And we'll see if Quick Headtaker moves to reinforce. We'll keep doing this until he... Okay, no, he's not moving to reinforce this auto-resolve. Just kill it. There's no way he goes for this place. And I would like you to leave the settlement and channel. Alright, please tell me you have a well-defended place. Maybe Karakazgal or Crooked Fang Fort. He has Regiments of Renown too, so he is worthy of a fight if we can actually get that to happen. Speaking of fights, you. Trade. I would like you to take out the... okay, we need to lose... I mean, we could keep the Fire Leech Bolas with the bleed if we really wanted to. Let's do this. Trade these. And then you can grab 2 more... We could get another Coatl, but whatever. We could grab 2 more of these. I wanted more Puriaras, to be perfectly honest. Kind of like we combined the Archaeopteryx with the Dreadsaurians. I'm doing the same thing here. The tiny, tiny Puriaras with the gigantic Thunder Lizard, then the, you know, mini Thunder Lizards. Anyway, I think that's good enough. You're going to besiege this thing now. And we'll see if they're willing to sally. What does it say? Pyrrhic victory? They might. I'm really hoping that they do. We have War Banner on the Thunder Lizard now. It does deliver magical damage as well. We could get the magical damage going on somebody, but ultimately it's not the biggest of deals. You have a Epicentrist, and you don't need Jungle Dominion or Spawnkin by the looks of it. Oh! Oh wait, that's Noatl. I thought those were the Manticudas, which I couldn't find last time in here. Whatever. Anyway, you have Blade Master. Missile resistance? You're still kind of vulnerable on that Carnosaur. Now what about this King Priest here? Chain Lightning, Comet of Cassandora, not the most needed, I will admit. Roiling Skies, not super useful against the Greenskins, I also admit. Let's get a couple points in Comet of Cassandora. Or maybe I should have put those in Urnon's Thunderbolt. Kind of makes more sense for the theme of this army, but anyway. Harmonic Convergence. Frankly, the Thunder Lizards are the ones going to do the work. Anyway, you have besieged the place now. Now, I wanted Quetkar to do some stuff with his Slow Death army, but admittedly it's just sort of a recycle of what we have with other armies. Nonetheless, if Talashbach is here, you're going to go this way. Maybe help deal with the Greenskins. And just to shore up the Darklands, as it were. We could have gone for this as well, but anyway. Anybody else need to move? You guys are in a good place. You guys are in a good place. Mazda has besieged, so we have 2 places where we are besieging. And I guess we're going to find out if the enemy actually attacks us there. Oh, Nakai, you should have been channeling this entire time, to be honest. Go right out here. And you're level 50. Isn't that lovely? Some solid-looking Croxies. Do we have any rights that we may want to use? Does anything really do anything for us? Figure loss reduction for blessed units. Could probably do those for the... Oh, it's only for 1 turn. That's the thing that resets our movement, which we could do, but there isn't any need. Anyway, let us end the turn. Let's see if either one of the places we're sieging decides to sally out and attack us, giving us a couple more final battles. No, originally going into this episode, I wasn't thinking I was going to do 1 million final battles, I guess. Oh, a underway interception. Yeah, obviously, decisive victory, low casualties. We're not bothering with us. Yeah, I wasn't planning to fight as many final battles as we seem to be doing, but I just get caught up with how fun this this campaign has been and this mod has been. You know, it seems to happen every time I play the Lizards. With the exception of the vampire counts, I seem to have done the most biggest campaigns with the lizards over the course of sort of, running the channel, generally speaking. Had a giant Mazda Mundi near World Conquest campaign, and back in the day in Total Warhammer 2, we obviously had the Krokar campaign, we have this campaign. I always have a lot of fun with these guys, and we're about to have a little bit more fun with the final battle for Tlaqua and his Thunder Lizards. Magical damage on the Oracle? Why not? Tlaqua has it already. You have magical damaging ammunition. I guess you don't have magical melee attack, but it won't matter. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The Thunder Lizard has been joined by its babies, the Sholodocus monsters here. At long last, the mini Thunder Lizards. And this is why I wanted the piles of flyers with these guys. Just look at them, just sort of surrounding the Thunder Lizard, and actually even being lower to the ground than the units on the Howdah are, which is pretty darn fantastic. Ugh, what a unit. Absolutely magnificent. Anyway, if you're wondering why I haven't been super, focused on getting these specific units, the Sholodocus units, is I don't think that they offer anything particularly interesting in terms of what they are. They're just, a big monster. We have many big monsters. They don't have any particular auras. They do Bone Crusher like most of our monsters do. They are tanky, but otherwise, there is nothing too special about them. What's special is the Thunder Lizard and the fact that they support it. Anyway, let's speed this up a teensy bit as we move the Thunder Lizard forward and begin thundering. There we go. That crackling from those projectiles, and a few will land just short of the enemy, but enough will hit to do maybe 10-15% of the damage to those black orcs. Not to worry though, plenty more projectiles where that came from. I don't know how long it takes for you to fire again. And I decided to put a war banner on the Thunder Lizard instead, which has bumped its missile strength up to 12,000. Obviously a sort of interspersed among its various projectiles, but still pretty good, I'm sure. There we go. Better hit from those projectiles this time, bringing these guys down to 50%, but the enemy is hitting back as well. The first hit of the Vindictive Glare, or Gaze of Mork, actually, hit our Pirayaras, and it looks like this one will knock a fair few more out of the sky. Not to worry, though, they are fairly numerous, and this isn't going to be too big of an issue as yet. Another hit from the Thunder Lizard sees the Black Orcs down to 25% of their HP, and we await the arrival of the enemy army while under that thunderous bombardment. Tlaqua the Thunder, of course, waiting here with his two Bahalas pets, and once again, I love these units. I love their edgy look. They're fantastic. I wish this was a real unit. I just really like the aesthetic of these guys and the way that they look with our units. Now the twin tails are a nice touch as well. Anyway, and of course we do have the thunderous one in the army as well. It's a crackling lightning, and it's a lightning-based abilities, and the two Coatl, which have joined the army as well. Lots of lightning going. And another very nice hit from that Thunder Lizard, but I think we've seen enough of it, so we're going to let the battle commence by speeding it up and allowing the enemy to approach. Let's see how many of the enemy the Thunder Lizard kills, and by the time they get here. Alright, it looks like the enemy has brought a Goblin Bolt Thrower to fire upon our big boys. We're going to make sure that thing goes away by Thunder Lizarding it. There we go. And it looks like that Bolt Thrower is out. The Rock Lobbers are very much less of a threat, although actually they're knocking a few of those Piriyaras out of the sky. Good for them, I suppose. Alright, well, the Thunder keeps on coming down for one more volley, but it's time for the Thunder Lizards to make their debut. There we go. All five will charge into the blobs of enemies. And in the case of the big Thunder Lizard, charge right through. Here come the flyers as well. Getting ready to drop Fire Leech Bolas on the enemies, while the Piriyaras join the tiny little adorable Piriyaras join the Thunder Lizards on the ground below, and start tearing through those goblins. I really like this army concept. It's got some parallels to what we did with Krokgar and the big boys and the little ones there, but you know, it definitely has its own flavor, plus all the lightning stuff going with Tlashbog the Thunderer. Pretty happy with it. Anyway, speaking of Tlashbog and his pets, the two Behalases are going for the two enemy casters, the Orc Shaman and the Night Goblin Shaman. I see lightning coming down in the distance, and of course the enemy Lord will be the target of Tlashbog himself, who with his 90 melee attack and nearly 1,000 weapon strength is gonna hit the enemy pretty hard. The Thunder Lizard has moved into a big blob of enemies, and the lightning will come down all around it. From our various abilities, Urnon's Thunderbolt and the Thunderous One and the Coatl. Now, like I said in a previous episode, last time I played Lizards, I also collected a bunch of the, I want to say Rod of the Storm or Totem of the Storm. I think it's Rod of the Storm. And that allows you another Urnon's Thunderbolt drop, and we were just having fun dropping like, I don't know, like 20 Urnon's Thunderbolts at a time. It was magnificent. Anyway. Hiriara is doing a surprisingly good job. It looks like the enemy that they were tearing to shreds was, well, torn to shreds, and this first army is pretty much done for. Tlashbog has chased down the enemy Lord. One of the Behalases has finished the first mage, and the second mage is soon to fall. Here we've got a new reinforcing smaller army moving in to attempt to help, and the Oracle has led two of the mini Thunder Lizards, or Shuladokas, sure, whatever, into the fight, together with a few more Piriaras. And ooh, nice a big volley from the Thunder Lizard while the enemies were engaged, this time not able to move to dodge that fire. There we go, a little bit more lightning to join the Thunder Lizards. And I do believe both of the enemy armies are just about done. With that, they shatter, and the battle is ours. Fantastic. I'm glad we were able to get these guys at the end. Alright, there we go. Perfect. And, you know, I've been pretty happy with the performance of the Piriaras. They may be super fragile, but they do kill a fair few, especially when we use them against lightly armored foes. So solid damage with the best ones doing 27k. The Thunder Lizard, obviously, 771 kills, 140,000 damage. And the little Thunder Lizards helped as well. Very, very nice. And of course, Tlashbog with 18k damage, solid damage Delta's gold value, and his two pet Behalases taking out all the enemy lords and heroes. The Thunderous One, solid damage, 15k. The two Coatl, 17 and 20k. A lightning being flung all around, and yeah, glorious final battle for Tlashbog. Now, who are we also besieging? Conquata. Looks like they will not sally out. Alright, that's fine. Not a big deal. We've seen the Yamaboro fight many a time already, so I wasn't super relying on that one. If the AI doesn't think they can win, then, well, they can't win. They actually tried to do this pathetic medium casualties. What in the insanity are you talking about? How did... Oh, it's because of the garbage garrison. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Waste of our time. Oh! Mazda Mundi didn't sally, or the Bellicor didn't sally out, but his little minion, the Vanaheimlings, will actually push into the fight. Fantastic. Go. Alrighty, here we go. It looks like the Vanaheimlings helped us out big time by moving in, and we're certainly going to take advantage. We are not, however, going to destroy them while they're waiting for their reinforcements, which together make up more than a full stack between all of them, and thus a worthwhile little fight here at Tiktaqto. So, we're going to take up position, we're going to wait for the reinforcements to arrive, and then we'll fight them all together, rather than moving in. Though I do imagine that if we had wanted to, we could have sent Mazda together with the Yamaboro riders to tear the Vanaheimlings apart before the reinforcements arrived. I'd really rather see all the Temple Guard fight together with the Yamaboro riders. Don't they look magnificent together, the Temple Guard riders together with the Temple Guard infantry? And they look happy, roaring, getting ready for the fight, cheering, etc., etc. And of course, the Honor Guard of Heshuatla stands as the head of the spear, ready to meet the enemy with their legendariness and their legendary stats. 91 melee defense, 86 melee attack, magical damage, 130 weapon strength. Actually, the weapon strength, I mean, it's decent, but compared to how high you can get regular Saurus hitting, I feel like maybe it could be just a little bit higher, considering there's only 20 units here. But nonetheless, they do also give us the Sky Warden's aura, not as useful, admittedly, against other enemies as, well, not as useful against Chaos as other enemies, but it is a nice thing to have, because our heroes have basically max missile resistance, as long as they're near them. Anyway, the enemy is moving in now, and in range of those lovely C-beams, which we've been enjoying so much over the course of the campaign. They don't do crazy amounts of damage to enemy infantry like this, but they actually don't do so bad. 31 kills with a couple of volleys. What they really do excel at, though, is sniping the enemies. Oh, that poor whatever. Shaman Sorcerer takes a hit. The enemy Van Heimling Lord takes another hit. Both of them lose about half of their HP from the first two hits. And there's plenty more where that came from, as we are situated atop this hill and have free reign to fire down upon them. It looks like with the second shot, the wizard melts away, and I do believe the... Looks like Mr. Marauder Chieftain has gotten back up with 193 HP. Well, good for him, but I don't imagine he'll survive the next one. And Chaos Sorcerer gets hit with the C-Beam as well, but actually doesn't lose that much HP by comparison. Yeah, their range is also pretty crazy, though again, I did put them in Mazda Mundi's army because they count as solar engines, and Mazda buffs solar engines, including their range. Alrighty, well, they're just gonna keep on firing away at the enemy. Honestly, I could watch them all day. And the Yamaboro riders, and the Bahalases, and the Mantiquota riders. There's so many great units in this mod, it's lovely. Alrighty, well anyway, the enemy lords will probably be all long dead before the enemy main army reaches us. There we go, I think that shot will... No, actually, he's still around. Not for long, though. And as soon as they're done, we're just gonna take out that hell cannon as well. Alright, get to firing. The first of the enemies are nearly here, though. I note some dragon ogres on the way. There we go, and... Ow, I'm gonna survive that hit. Well, now time to switch to the enemy hell cannon. Will the Uranon's Thunderbolt take it out, or will it be the C-Beam? And it's a photo finish. Who killed the hell cannon? I couldn't tell. The beam and the thunderbolt struck it at exactly the same time, and that's Mazda Mundi's empowered thunderbolt as well, so it does better. Anyway, we've waited for the enemy to arrive, and they're going to attempt to smash into the line of a Temple Guard, but between the Temple Guard and the Yamaboro riders, I really don't think the vanguard of Norscan warriors or marauders are really going to achieve too much. The Chosen or the Chaos Warriors that come in behind them a little bit slower, probably going to have a little bit better of a time, but probably not that much better of a time. Anyway, our Honor Guard of Heshuatla will hold the center as they do, while our Carnosaur riding Saurus Scarvet moves to duel the Chaos Giant in front of the enemy army. Yamaboro riders have also moved forward and are tearing the enemy that have moved in apart, and are waiting in the wings as well for any enemies that attempt to get around our flanks. Like this unit of Chaos Knights with lances here, and like this unit of Chaos Knights without lances forces over on the right flank. Unfortunately for them, we've been using the Yamaburo Riders to deal with the enemy infantry, but they're an anti-large unit, so they are absolutely going to establish their superiority against the Chaos Knights here. One of the few cavalry that will make a Chaos Knight look small, regardless of all those roids. That said, the AI is wise to the threat of the Yamaburo and has sent in some halberd Chaos Warriors to help out against them. Certainly dangerous, and we're going to make sure to keep these guys buffed up. Harmonic Convergence maxed out, or Overcast and Apotheosis as well, gives them absolutely insane stats and should keep them in the fight against even the halberds that threaten them. So, Mazdamundi's obviously in the center of the fight, fighting together with the Honor Guard of, well, Nier, I should say, the Honor Guard of Heshwatla, who are now engaging some Chaos Warriors with great weapons. The balance of power is shifting rapidly in Mazdamundi's favor as we're about 10% remaining for Chaos. And I don't think they got much more left in the tank. Alrighty, gonna get a Shield of the Old Ones down for that little bit of extra damage resistance, but generally speaking, we're doing pretty well. And now that the Chaos Knights have been destroyed, the C-beams are once again free to fire at the enemy. And make sure that they bring down either the Giant or the Chaos War Shrine. Or maybe even some runners. Though I do imagine that they'll all be runners soon enough, as the balance of power now 95% in our favor. There we go, a C-beam right to the back of that Giant, and the big boy will topple. Fantastic. And frankly, I'm surprised that the enemy army hasn't shattered yet. They're not having a good time at all. I am, though, and that's what counts. Tactically, nothing else to say about this fight. We're just waiting out the enemy HP at this point. They have failed in their attempt to do another nice C-beam to the escaping War Shrine, and seeing that shrine to the gods topple, the enemy army will begin losing their leadership. And just a couple more hits, and I do believe the enemy army will shatter. Frankly, I'm surprised that the Trolls are one of the last units fighting. Trolls usually one of the first to rout. At the very least, and unless you significantly buff their HP. Alright, and there we go. With that, the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. And, ooh, I just saw that C-beam wipe out one of the Temple Guard. Yeah, 59 out of 60 units. Well, hopefully they'll stand near a Reviv Crystal and just revive. Not that the single loss is that big of a deal. Huge alpha damage on those C-beams. Anyway, beautiful fight. Alright, there we go. Lovely final fight from Mazdamundi. Amazing seeing the Temple Guard in action with the Yamaburo Riders. And of course the Honor Guard of Heshwatla getting their 30,000 damage. Very solid. The C-beams doing less damage than these guys, but higher damage dealt as gold value since they sniped those enemy lords. Poor lords, and then did damage to the other monsters. Overall, very, very happy with Mazda's army. Yes, we were going to have 4 more C-beams, but considering how powerful they are, it's not necessary. It's just, it would have been just for fun. I don't really care what you do. Alrighty, and then we'll take Tiktaq'to and the Old Ones jungles. They're in peace with the Dark Elves, go to hell. Lizardmen, oh, it's one of the little convoy armies. It's like, what the heck are you, who are you and what do you want? Alrighty, what is this? Nah, ignore it. And we've had enough of those. And Zatan the Black, a magic item drop chance from battle would have been lovely over the course of the campaign, like Mr. Sale got at the very start of his, but at the very end it is of no real use. Sequence of channeling. Sure. And Ancient Stegodon for somebody. Great for that said somebody. You will now complete this. Oh wow, we're actually very close to completing all techs. Probably not going to make it all the way to completing them all, but still very nice to nearly do so. Anyway, you guys are fine where you are. You can... Okay, go here and then end your campaign in this location. You can stay in ambush stance in case somebody else moseys on this way. Shiotla, erase Bloodwind Keep, please. Wow, close victory, huh? I mean, we fought significantly more troops with Village. I really don't see them actually putting up any kind of real threat. Keep raising stuff because it's amusing. A little bit damaged now, but we should heal up over time. Alright, good. And just to move him a teensy bit. You, Kelkana, if you go into March stance, would you be able to reinforce? Yes, alright. I just want to raise Carrick or take it. It doesn't really matter. Grimgor's done for either way. He hasn't even recovered an army. And Pyrrhic victory, but nobody will die, correct? Of course, that stupid quick time. You know what? We have to besiege here for a couple of turns anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm waiting for that final beastie for Tiktaq'to for his final army, so until that's done, you're free to move like that. Maybe once we get out of this stance, it'll help out. Anything you can do in terms of... Nope, nothing you can do in terms of... I guess we could get Swift Rider to buff up the... buff up the Parasite... Wait, Parasite Riding teams are here? Oh, they double dip. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. Good for them. But not super useful. Just start going through these, I guess, just because we can. There you go. Alrighty. And Lord Croak... Ah, Lord Croak is already so leveled it hardly matters. Alrighty, anybody else? So this is fine as it is. Mazda, you will take Conquata and end your campaign there. Occupy. There we go. So pretty much only Tiktaq'to will remain. And you can build defenses here, but really it's what we want is this. Jungles of the old ones. Just principle of the thing and all that, not because we need it or anything like that. And you know what? The jungles of the old ones should have a geomantic pylon and rebuilt labyrinth. Oh, negative corruption, but we're all minus 39. We don't care. It's gonna get decorruptified anyway. And I guess we'll have... Well, Mazdamundi can grab Citadel of Lead. Nobody's gonna be any kind of threat to any of this anyway. Alright, look at that. That's a heck of a barrier to anybody coming south. I guess the vampire counts remain alive. We could really fund these guys if we really wanted to. What I would really want to is fight frickin' Queek with the with these guys. I'm gonna try Crooked Fang Fort. Let's see what's over there. Please be a tier 5 territory. Nope, it's garbage. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I don't really care about the Gekkolos, so if we don't get the we don't get a good fight out of them, we just won't. I don't care enough about them to worry about it so much. You can go here and then maybe to Karakazgal. Queek might take Valea's Sorrow. Yeah, but I would really like for him to go back somewhere. Oh, before I forget, you take what remains of this. Lovely. And occupy it. Could have looted and occupied it for the replenishment, but it's all good. Alrighty, and then you, Diraclan, just follow Tlash. But well, you know what? Actually, sit in 8 Peaks. It's actually very poorly defended as well. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but all good. I guess we could just build you. Take 2 turns. Okay, build a giant pile of chameleon stalkers. There you go. Just to sort of defend the place if we need to. I don't really care about any of these territories. Anyway, you're all good. Wow, look at the Badlands. Great job to Cetra. There is still the potential for fighting this. I will continue thinking about it while we do whatever else it is that we need to do. You, with those Tlamimas. What do we have here? Ah, garbage. Silostra, what do you have in your army? Not that great, but move this way. We have a better battle at the Twisted Glade if we were to fight them and try those Tlamimas out. So Mushroom Stew, and go here. Curse of Cannibalism. And I guess you'll try to land there next turn. Alrighty, and that will be your final battle. The rest of you are good. You want to just kill this? Just so I don't have to deal with it? I think that's pretty much it. Unresolved. I don't think any of the other factions are going to attempt to declare war on us anymore. And they might keep suing for peace, admittedly. Alright, you go there. We'll just have you take Citadel of Lead. And I don't think we care enough to build any of the defenses there. Alright, that sounds like an end turn to me. How's that, 3 more turns? Oh, good lord. I just want the Ornithornis for the final battle. It's the only thing, well, I guess the Dilophosaurus that we haven't seen, but, huh. I wonder... Alright, Quetgar, I forgot that you were still moving. I wonder if we can put those guys in with the... Gekkolo, maybe? Swap out a few of the other units in there? I'm gonna double check. If we ever get them, just gotta wait for that expedition to be completed. And it looks like Clan Moors will not attack. Huh. Carrick Vrag besieged, we will... I doubt they will sally out, really. But they will... This is garbage. There's not even really a significant amount of black orcs. Occupy, whatever. Alright. I guess they really wanted to fight just Tiktaq'to's army without the reinforcing army, but that actually worked in our favor. Decline, whatever. Maybe the Warmbloods can solve at least one of their own problems. Just the one, please. Do something. Specimens +2 if we intervene. I'm willing to bet we can auto-resolve because this is garbage, so might as well get the free specimens. Like so, and... Oh, but did that delay the expedition? I don't know, whatever. You go here. Encamp. Or actually channel, what am I saying? Your mana is low. Alright, keep going up here. Research completed. And... move through that. Oshiotla, do you want to go back behind the wall, or are you enjoying raising everything in your path? I'm willing to bet you are. Just keep going around here. Maybe we should raise the Red Fortress, although by the time we get there, they might have a full stack again, but I'm not super intent on fighting Village a second time. Oh, I wish we could build defenses there. Auto-resolve. And occupy. Lovely. Alright, so you're ending your campaign here. Good. Both of you just sit there. Oh, these should probably have defensive... weapon strength, I guess? Alignment of war? It doesn't matter. It's not like they'll be able to go and do anything. We could obviously, if we were looking to, we could have moved all of our armies northward and dealt with all of this. It's just a garbage territory that we no longer need. Tic-Tac, you are going to move right here outside of Black Fang. As eventually, you will be getting your final battle down here at Jarnagrund. I would like Conquata to be completely ours, so we'll have you, birds, move in and take it. The Citadel of Lead, I mean. Like so. And start building those defenses. Which will take 1,000,000 years, but it hardly matters. Alignment of monuments. Then, I would like... I wonder if Silostra will move in to reinforce this. That may be fun. Let's level up before we go. We want cheaper regrowth and cheaper dwellers below. Oh, I didn't get any of the army buffs in this army yet either. But oh well. Oh, you know what? Let's get becoming cogitation because it's good to have. You go here. This will be a final fight for... Oh, damn, you're in March stance. Okay, no, you're still fine. And this will be a great final fight for you. Besiege this. Declare war on these guys. Whatever, I don't care. Declare war. Call your allies, nope. And just besiege it. And we'll see if they attack us from several sides if Silostra wants to move on in. See how these guys can handle those Bretonnian knights with their magical damage. Might actually be a significant threat, in theory. In theory. Anyway, what do you want here? Miscast base chance, wins a magic power reserve. We could get power sap, and... I mean, we could get comment, but really, this army is mostly here. This Skink Priest is here mostly to debuff and to provide the instrument of Tepok. Now the casting is being done by the Slan. I guess we could get experienced in combination with the Winds of Time for more cooldown reductions, because we can keep using Curse of the Midnight Wind and Harmonic Convergence. They're good spells. They're very good spells. You, Sacred Adornments into... I mean, we have 3 of these guys, so we can still get some use of... Oh, well, it's upkeep reduction, though. It doesn't really matter. Weapon strength, 1. Commence the Massacre. Get Honored Elder and Forward Scout and Communion of the Beast. Same stuff we've been using throughout. I don't think we can buff any of these guys, so we'll go for Instrument Minor, Blessing of Tepok, Tough as Nails, Esteemed Combatant, and we are the elite, obviously. Retinue Retainer, sure. And, oh, you know what? Get the last 2 points in missile resistance because it's Vampire Coast after all. Alright, Digga, as soon as we end the turn, I'm willing to bet that you'll have your final fight. Everybody else here is good. You're good. You're good. Preparing. And, nope, 3 more turns for that expedition to get those final units. Oh, and this is the army we ignored. Oh. You know what? I'm going to peace out with them because otherwise they might move to an undefended territory. It's a little bit annoying that ignoring these guys leaves their armies on the field, sort of, so it's dangerous that they might go there. You know, just give us your money. 11,000? I mean, we have 400,000, so who cares, but just don't want to deal with them. Maggot host, do we want to peace out with you? I'm going to say no for now, who knows. Alrighty, and I believe that's about it, minus you. Where did Queek go? He's kind of running around. You can't reach him from here, can you, Zlatata? Can you try to besiege Karakazgal, which might have enough of a garrison for Queek to move on in and help? Maybe. It's possible. And then you just sit there. I don't know. Oh, either way. Skip, and turn. What? We only have 2 bonus specimens from this one? Come on. Yeah, it does feel a little bit weird that the expeditions, like, they say 5 turns, but in reality they take like 8 billion turns. Damn it. Alright, well, a decent likelihood we won't get another fight with this, so I guess we'll try the Gekalo out against these guys. Watch the warp bomb kill them all. It's all the regiments of renown plus Queek, so they should still be dangerous in theory. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The Gekalo army going to fight off the fight against all of the regiments of renown in the Skaven roster. And yeah, just want to see them fight one more time. I'm not big on them. I feel like their models are a little bit too weird for me with the sort of, hail coming in from the neck thing that they've got going on. It's very strange, but all good. Still entertaining to watch fight, and they're part of the mod after all, and I gotta give the mod the benefit of the doubt and credit where it's due or not. And ooh, it gets zap, hits the Gekalo Spitters real hard, taking out, what, 7 of their units with 1 volley, and a couple more with the next. We're gonna try to heal these guys up and move them into range, but they are a rather short-range Spitter unit, and yeah, it's gonna take a bit. There we go. They've closed the distance now. I'm gonna get their first volley into the Blight Scabs Plague Pack. Not going to do a lot of damage, but I believe these guys are they're a lot better at targeting single entities than they are blobs like this. And they have very high weapon damage, but I don't imagine they have a lot of explosive damage. It's probably something like a man-eater with an ogre pistol thing. All good though. I do like their the animation of their attacks. Anyway, the Rat Ogres and the Gekalo Chargers have now closed the distance. Our big boys are going to absorb as much HP damage as possible. I do like the helmets of these guys. Alrighty, whereas over on the left flank, we have crashed into the enemy with the Gekalo Carnivores and are trying to protect the other Gekalo Spitters here, as we've seen their fragility already. Alrighty, a little pile of xenomorphs, and ooh, actually that was a pretty cool shot with the sort of shadows that you can see. Usually I don't like this sort of thing, but in this particular case, this is really nice. Oh yeah, there we go, the frickin' roar. Oh, I should have taken a screen cap of that. Oh well. Hello, little rat. This was not the way I expected to be fighting this or to be watching this battle, but those were some really nice shots. I gotta remember this one for future battles. And actually, considering that this leaves the units not as visible as we might like, maybe we'll do another fight with these guys. I mean, we do still want to get that Gekalo Prime if we possibly can. Anyway, I digress. I do believe that Queeky and our Lord Zlatota, have been dueling with Queek down to about 25% of his HP, while the bodyguards surrounding Queek have been by and large crushed. We're having the most difficult time over on the right flank, where Blight Scab's Plague Pack, together with a bunch of other regiments, are working together and have managed to severely damage one of our units to the point of us forcing them to back off, i.e. one of our units to back off. The melee Gekalo are still in the fight though. Other melee Gekalo have joined in. And now it's a matter of trying to tear through the... Oh, it's the Council Guard. Yeah, that's a disgustingly good combination. The Blight Scabs, Plague Pack, Plague Monk, Sensor Bearers, and the Council Guard. 2 unbreakable, super high damage dealing infantry. Hardly surprising that they were able to, if not quite nearly kill off a unit, force us to back them off, lest they be nearly killed off. Anyway, with that, the battle shifts fully in our favor. I believe Queek has fallen and only the unbreakable units remain. I do like how these spitters are still firing into the mobs even as we continue fighting. I'm getting some nice cinematic shots out of this battle, I gotta say. Alright, well, we gotta bring those white-furred Skaven down. They thought they were special. Alright, down they go. All that loyalty to the Council of 13, and for what? Just to be crushed by some freaky xenomorph aliens. Tactically, not anything else to say. This is the only place we're still fighting on the map, as these units are unbreakable. You gotta admit though, credit where it's due. These guys are taking ages to die, considering there's a bunch of monstrous infantry attacking them. Council Guard, absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to for the next time I do Skaven and play either Moors or Rectus. There we go, the last of the Council Guard has his head punched off, and with that, the battle is ours. Alright, there we go, an actually nice little fight, and a bunch of our Gekalo did take a pile of damage from Queek or his regiments of renown. These Ikit Zap Zap in particular, 17k damage out of the Blight Scab's Plague Pack. Unfortunately for them, the Reviv Crystals in combination with Earthblood Spam revived all but 3 of the fallen Gekalo, and Killanete will revive the rest. Goodbye, Ikit. And at least we got to fight with those guys. But again, I'm not a big fan of the Xenomorph combo models. Too far from even, you know, sort of possible lore, so meh. Just wanted to see them one more time, and hey, this I am much more excited for. We got 3 bloody Necrofex Colossi, plenty of monsters, Silastra herself against this army. Let's see if the Ictlamimus and the Blessed Razordons, and just generally speaking, the Lifeslan army can handle themselves against all that firepower. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The Ictlamimus on field at last. We've been waiting to get a few of these guys for a long time now, and ooh, they do look pretty cool. I do like these. Again, great models in this mod, you got to admit. Those who know stuff about dinos, do these guys bear a resemblance to real dinos, or, well, the Mimus is something, because there are, Mimus is a suffix that's used for at least some dinos, isn't it? I don't know if it's related to this thing or what it means or anything like that, but I've absolutely been living for the dino facts that people have been dropping in the comments of this particular campaign, so keep those coming all the way to the end. Anyway, like I said, the Ictlamimus are a giant Razordon type unit. They even, I believe, use their skeleton and their attacks. We can see. There we go, and we're using them to launch spines the enemy's way together with our own Razordons. And it looks like the Ictlamimus spines sort of split when they reach the enemy. Anyway, as we've seen previously, the Razordons can deliver a massive amount of damage to pretty much anything, so we do soften up the enemy quite a bit on the left flank where we deployed our same said Razordon. And there we go, firing at the enemy, tearing through those depth guard, though some enemy units have started to close, and we've started to take a little bit of damage. Mortar shells dropping among the Mimus and the Razordon, and at the same time, we've got the enemy dropping army abilities, as well as support from its Necrofex Colossi. Alright, Ictlamimus moving into melee. Unlike the Razordon, these guys have very solid melee stats, though, and a decent amount of HP. 10k is still a little bit low for a single entity, but it's sort of a medium-sized, well, a medium-sized for a monster. I mean, it's smaller than a Bastillodon, much smaller than an Ancient or a regular Stegodon, etc., etc., etc. A little bit less HP than a Steg, but anyway, considering it's a range damage dealer, it's got very solid melee stats and can certainly help hold the line. Alrighty, well, the enemy is charging towards us now, and we are looking to do as much damage to this first army as possible because Silostro is going to be arriving with the second set of units, and there's a distinct likelihood that there's going to be more elites in her army. She has at least, I think, 2 Necrofex Colossi with her. And there's certainly stuff to be concerned about. Anyway, the first army is in pretty bad shape. Our Temple Guard and other units are still very much protecting that Life Slan, who is just going to be spamming all that Life Lore stuff, including and in particular the Shield of Thorns. I mean, obviously the heals, but we have oracles for heals. As well in other armies, it's the Shield of Thorns that is part of this army's concept with the Razordons. Anyway, the big crabby boys still fighting together with the little crabby boys, but probably not for much longer as it's down to 45% of its HP. Most of the enemy range units have been engaged or otherwise obliterated by the Razordon spines, and we are looking to move the same said range units to knock down that Necrofex Colossus. I do wonder how well the Ictlamimus will do against single targets with their sort of split shot ability. The regular Razordons might be better at it than these guys. Not that it's going to hopefully matter all that much. Anyway, and the fire will continue as Silostro prepares to move on in. We do have a few Sirens still in the fight, and we do kind of like magical damage in this army, don't we? Do the Blessed Temple Guard have magical damage out of curiosity? If I can find you in here. No, they don't. Okay, so we have magical damage on the Saurus Scarvet, obviously the Slan, and I think that's it. Well, that explains why it's taking the Sirens so long to go down. Not that it matters as long as we have mana and as long as we have our healing. And specifically, our healing cap has not been reached. That said, the enemy is really laying down the fire now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 artillery pieces as well as 2 Necrofex Colossi. It's a lot of range fire coming in from the enemy, and I'm certainly willing to put our life army to the test. All of that healing, will it be able to outdo all of the enemy damage? Yes, we could easily destroy all of this by going with the summoning Ripperdactyls and dwellers below upon them, etc., etc. But we're gonna let it happen. And we're gonna see. Anyway, animated Hulks moving in, and the Razordons should be able to deal severe damage to them, though of course still taking shots from those Necrofex Colossi. We are a little bit hulled down here thanks to the cover of the hills, so perhaps the Necrofex aren't landing as many shots as they might otherwise like. Enemies still in the fight in the melee as well, though, the Temple Guard not having knocked out those Sirens. Ridiculous amount of physical resistance plus recovery on them, of course, plus whatever healing the Silostra does, and immunity to contact effects because it's a ghost unit. Here comes Silostra. I've always found it very weird that she has a non-ghostly rotting Leviathan mount. I don't know, I feel like I would have done something else for her mount. Or even not have a mount at all, I don't know. But anyway, she's gonna summon her damned Knights Errant on field. I remember in past campaigns, these guys have been something of a menace, so we do have to be careful. And like we talked about with the Sirens, we have very little magical damage, so they're probably going to be a menace here. Starting to take a fair bit of damage on our Razordons, and we're going to prevent prevent at least some of it further with a Shield of the Old Ones, though it looks like we've actually started to reach the healing cap on several of them. Damage has been pretty severe. Gonna summon a unit of Ripperdactyls on the Necrofex Colossus now, not the artillery, just to allow them to keep firing. And while we will do decent damage to the Necrofex, unfortunately the enemy handguns nearby will tear through the Ripperdactyls and not let them take it down. But all good. Lifeslan's still in the center of the blob with Silostra trying to move towards him, but is now surrounded, and that's a lot of damage coming down on that rotting Leviathan. And of course, once again, this army has 4 healing crystals, or revive crystals. So as long as that healing cap is there, we're still pretty okay. Speaking of the healing cap, though, let's see. Razordons 1, 2 have reached it. We're trying to still heal them up. I do believe, yep, this Temple Guard unit has reached its healing cap as well. Too bad we don't have anything that increases their healing cap, but it's all good. Silostra will drop. The melee units, such as they are no longer very numerous, and soon it will only be range units that remain. Temple Guards still doing their duty to protect their Slan charge. And they should be able to see off the zombie deckhand mobs no problem, though with their healing cap having dropped, those mortar shells are really starting to do a number on them. And I think all 3 Temple Guard have now reached their healing cap. Interesting. Alright, well, the Razordons are going to continue firing upon the zombie pirate gunnery mob, whereas our Ictlamimus and our Amixon barb, they have less ammunition, and thus we can send them forward. They no longer have any ammo left to fire. Mostly, they're just going to engage the Necrofexes, who have actually burned through 30 to 40% of their own ammunition, and solid amounts of ammunition gone through on the various units of artillery as well. Again, we let it happen, but the enemy certainly did okay. How are we doing? I think we are beginning to severely damage that Necrofex, obviously with the crew expulsion that it's doing. Again, these guys are able to fight in melee. That's our guys, I mean. And ooh, wow, this Razordon unit has been severely damaged now, down to 40-45% of its HP and the healing cap there. So those units ain't reviving anymore either. I don't think we're going to lose that Razordon unit, however, as with that, the last of the enemy units capable of fighting melt away, and the Necrofexes protecting the artillery crews are all that remains. They too will topple shortly, and with that, the battle is ours. Hey, don't crush our Ictlamimus. They're brand new. Anyway, there we are. A lovely fight, and a very close one for several of these units. Why has the battle not ended? Oh, there is a unit of Black Ark Corsairs, so he summoned the Ripperdactyls to chase them down and make sure that they don't escape. Alrighty, there we go. That was a really fun fight, and I'm happy with what we got. 15,000 damage on all the Ictlamimus, with the Amixon barb doing slightly better than those guys, but massive amounts of damage on all the blessed blessed Razordon hunting packs. 31, 38, 39, 37, and 44. All told, a very good showing from them. Our Temple Guard held the enemy back, of course, but were reaching their healing cap, just like several of the blessed Razordons. Partly because we didn't kill off the enemy artillery with spells or with Ripperdactyl summons. I wanted to give the enemy a chance. They had it, and they still failed. A lovely fight, and we bid farewell to the Lifeslands army. And you can, I guess, send your campaign in the Twisted Glade that you have now taken. Alrighty, and I don't believe anybody else should be attacking us this turn. Man, even our allies, even the AIs don't really have much to do anymore, in the sense that they're just bunching up all their armies around their capitals. Okay, nope. No intervene, ignore, banner, vermin flail for Zlatata would have been lovely in the early game, but no longer much use for it. And how are we at here? 2 more turns in that convoy. Okay, you know what? Here, I think I'm going to make a cut. We have to go a few more turns forward, and pretty much the only battle that remains is Tiktaq'to's finale. So, yeah, I'm gonna just go forward until we have that Ornosaurus, and until we're ready to end the campaign off. Yeah, certainly some enemy armies are gonna be moving around and just annoying us, kind of, but, well, them's the breaks, I suppose. Anyway, here comes the cut. All right, well, unexpectedly, it looks like the hunt for the Gekalo Prime, the last of these little mini quests, is still on. I don't really care about this battle in the sense that we'll probably just auto-resolve it as long as it's possible, but I do want to give these little quest battles a read because they've been fun, so we're gonna. Anyway, Barking Hounds herald a notable trespasser, a hunts marshal. He addresses his army of trappers and hunters. Gentlemen, we have arrived. I'm honored to gather you, the world's greatest sportsmen. Here you will find the greatest game. I propose a tournament, but I fear our sport would be interrupted, for we are in the most tedious company imaginable, the company of wardens. 100 gold to the man who brings me the leader's hide. My hounds seem to think he's over there. Shouldn't be too hard to recognize. He'll be the one with all the feathers, I'd wager. We have been detected. We can only fight. Alright, face the Hunts Marshal, and obviously how to resolve Huntsmen and Empire Archers and Marauder Berserkers. No chance against our skink forces, which have faced off against armies 10 times tougher. Like so. Then, we're just about ready for the final fights, and yes, the Hunts Marshal has an unusual location on turn 122. I wasn't expecting that. Income from all buildings plus 1%. All regions, small chance for this caravan to depart each turn. Oh, that's a neat one. Huh. Cathan Caravan. Cool. Never seen that one yet. That was the first time. Interesting. Anyway, we are nearly done our attacks as well, so we may as well just... Okay, I'll just do that. Then we gotta move everybody into position as we now have who we want. The Ruinous one here. And Tic-Tac, you can just move, get ready to fight Mr. Gorth the Cruel. And what the heck is this? Stupid little army going over there. Oh, and I moved you all the way out here to... Okay, game. I see we're being obnoxious today. And on the final episode today as well. Anyway, you go back, Tic-Tac. I may have you deal with this stupid little army. In fact, I'm tempted to just sort of move right there. We won't suffer attrition. You know, just go here. I don't think this guy can reach us or would bother. I'd assume he'd be too afraid, and this guy might back off. We'll just have to wait and see. And top of the Ruinous, we got these Dilophoraptors now, and Nakai. I gave him 2 more Ruinous, I don't know, as well, just because I figure, well, we should have more than one battle with them at the end, right? Right. Alrighty. Zlatata, you... I mean, we could pop one more. Oh, you know what? Maybe we wait until Gekalo Prime, although if we can actually manage to make it happen. Which means ending a few more turns. Alright, well, let's just see. What the heck are you doing? Yeah, they have no chance. I mean, they could try, but they have no chance, let's face it. We could just sit around and Washti, go to Black Forests. If Crone Hillebron wants to attack with this patheticness, she's more than welcome to try. Oh, there's Black Dragons in that army, at least. Maybe they can try a little bit harder, but, you know. And where are you going? Well, we've got armies here. Just making sure to protect the territories we have, but otherwise let's go through all of this and let us end the turn. Maybe there's a few more armies that needed to be moved, but okay, like Oshiotle, who... I mean, we could destroy the Foundry of Bones if we wanted to. And Howling Rock, but, you know, yeah, these guys are just moving around. I'm gonna stop that now, so that we don't have to, you know, move them every single turn anymore. And just want to make sure that we get that quest completed. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that Gekalo Prime just because, well, it's now the one and only unit we have not yet gotten. And I'm hardly a completionist in terms of at least, you know, like achievements and all that sort of stuff I don't usually bother with in most games, and any games really. Well, the completionist in me says he wants to see that last unit, so... Even if I don't care for the Gekalo units, these guys have been relatively fun. Anyway, and the mod itself has been really fun. Anyway, the Hunts Marshal has returned. We find him inspecting mutilated bodies. His followers seem disturbed. The bodies had belonged to their fellow hunters and trappers. Appalling. These creatures are truly savage. All the more reason to cull them. You see now why I gathered you. Only the greatest sportsman can hope to eradicate such beasts, for the safety of the wider realm. Upon completion, I would expect a pardon for all past crimes. I am confident you are equal to the task. I wish only to see these poor souls avenged, as they must deserve, though their skills were found wanting. His hounds begin to bark, alerting him to our presence. Why, if it isn't the beasts of a lesser sort? Should provide a spot of quick practice. Face the Hunts Marshal again, and again it's a garbage army, so we will just auto-resolve it. And heal ourselves up while we're at it. Alright, I imagine there's 3 of those, so just a little bit more. Oh, Gorbad. Gorbad where? Damn, Scrot the Plague-Ridden. I was hoping he'd sit in Karak Asgal while we... Okay, you, is that so, are going to go to Crooked Fang Fort. Deraclan, you're fine here. What if we can get... wait, Zlatata. I was saving something. You go right... wait, what's in Crooked Fang Fort? Oh, it's basically undefended. Alright, fine then. You can go in regular stance and go right out here, which I assume will prompt this guy to run away. Where is Gorbad that we saw? Oh, the heck? Okay, he's way too far from us. Whoa, 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 in the tap? No, 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 no. Why did you acquire this? Spend too long in a settlement with high control? Oh, I didn't even know that that was a thing. Okay, I don't, just out of the principle of the thing, really want any of our lords to get debuffs randomly, so let's just leave them out of the settlements then, so that they don't suffer things said debuffs, plus it would be annoying to see those every turn as well. And besides, some of you may want to channel like so. Rakiran, where are you going, Wolfric? Going after Bretonia. Victory, yeah. The Hunts Marshal has slipped away. Washti, you are free to stay. You can ambush stance if you like. Digga, you can channel. See if the enemy dares to move towards you. These guys still floating around out there, but, well, they'll fail if they try. Where's Tic-Tac? Alrighty, so that army has, it seems, backed off rather than face off against us, which, you know, makes sense. You. March stance out here, and then Tic-Tac, you can stay back here near Black Fang, still getting ready to do the final fight. I do want him to actually have, you know, the final fight, as in the last fight of the campaign, which is why I haven't moved him in as yet. Nakai, we could do your fight right now, or we could do all the fights in one turn. Just make it easier on ourselves. Alright, let's just end the turn now. Might as well. Quicker we can end these turns, the quicker we can hopefully complete that. We don't even need to technically complete the expedition, because we've already seen the units that are out of it. We just need to complete the actual mission. And unlock the guy. Another underway interception. Okay, you get this. Ambush, or auto-resolve, rather. We don't need to fight them again, especially as we've already done so. And, ooh, I hope you didn't pick up that Executioner's Blade, because we can't have those, unfortunately. All of that nonsense with the desyncs being caused by them. I really wish you could just disable the Executor thing so that we could still use the items, because otherwise they have great stats. And alright, we have tracked the Hunts Marshal to a camp. Whilst we watch, a lone poacher suddenly sprints from it, naked. Arrows follow and find the painted target on his back. He collapses. We manage to pull him safe into cover. The Marshal, he gasps, he framed me, but it was him. He's been the one hunting us, that sick, twisted bastard. We hurry the man to pass. Seems that if we leave things alone, the Hunts Marshal will continue killing and playing his hunters against one another. But why risk him slipping away again, only to lead more of his victims here? The jungle roars for an end to these primates. Alright, attack them, and once again, trash armies. It's kind of interesting that these seem to be the weakest of the armies, even though it's the last quest that we end up doing. And does that unlock? Let me just see here. Yes, it does. Hunts Marshal seems to have slipped away again. The immensely tall Gekalo appears disinterested in pursuing him. Suddenly it thrusts its lance through one of the blood-soaked bodies. The body gasps. The Hunts Marshal playing dead. He isn't playing anymore. The Gekalo regards the expedition chief, and suddenly they are alone in an ancient landscape. Deemed a failed experiment, the Gekalo has been tasked with eradicating its own kind to make way for skinks and saurus. But instead it led its kind within the sites where they have hidden for millennia. It now learns that its creators have long since vanished. Only an abandoned world remains. The vision fades, the Gekalo turns and walks to the border. Alright, there we go. With that, all expeditions have been complete, all units have been unlocked, we have done everything. Fantastic. Ooh, we got there, guys. We finally got there. So, only 2 more things to do. Zatata, you are going to hatch a Gekalo egg. Specifically a Gekalo prime egg. Like so, and then we'll wait 1 turn while you heal up to full. You can heal here, and then we will go do your final battle. Wait, did you get that Executioner Blade? You did. Let's not use that. Honestly, in the last, like, 10 turns, we've gotten a million new weapons, so we can pick whatever we want. You want the Blade of Realities? Spirit Leech on you. Yeah, why not? Have a Spirit Leech. Oh, it'll take away your Sundering Armor. Yeah, but it'll make you tankier. I like it. I like it well enough at any rate. We could give you Healing Potion and other items now that we have a million of them as well, so yeah, let's do that. We have a Talisman of Preservation. That's what skipping a bunch of turns does for you. Good enough. Alright, and what do we want out of this? Other Trickster's Shard, we got Trickster's Helm, we got plenty of items. Man, we spent so much of the game without enough items, and now we have all the items we want. But it's too late to need them. Besides, almost all of our lords, with the exception of the last, like, 2 or so lords have pretty much full items anyway, so it hardly matters as well. Anyway, I would like to get to you the Sun Standard of Chotek, because I do feel like every army should have one. Alright, so you're going to go next turn. Does Nakai have a Sun Standard? He does, he has 2. Alright, he has his Ornis, and otherwise is ready to go next turn. You're ready to go next turn. Plus the Gekalo Prime. Oh, I guess we could get rid of... Well, okay, there's nothing to get rid of, is there? I put the Dilophosaurus in his army. Just for fun. And then Tiktaq'to, you're ready to go as well, right? Yeah. I think you are. Do we need the levels? I mean, we could put a few more levels in there. Alright, fine. Let's just, let's get ready. You want Precise and Gutter Fighter. That's what you want. And you have no other resistances that you need. Yeah, might as well get Precise and Opportunist. Probably could have gotten one of these to buff you up personally as well, but all good. What about the Skink Chief? Okay, you actually don't technically need that much stuff. You are the one that's on the Pterodon. Well, admittedly, Survivalist will still be useful to you. Don't really care about Energetic. Bottomless Quiver, you never run out of ammunition. Let's go 2 and 2 into Precise and Piercing shots, depending on whether you go into melee or range. Alright, you're nearly ready. We've got... Where are we? I lost my place. The panic is setting in. Oh yeah, it is Latata, you. You got a few points to spend. You obviously don't have enough to get everything you want, but... what are these guys buffed by? Dilophosaurus. We just got those. Don't tell me they're buffed by this tree. Oh, they are buffed by this tree. That's kind of annoying. Are they buffed by anything here? Well, we wouldn't have them at rank 7, which is a bit of a shame, but... Yeah, fine, let's go for Swift Rider. Why not? Get them a teensy bit of buff. And then you, Skink Oracle, Minor Blessing of Tepok, pretty much always. This stuff. Then we want to max out Earthblood, but we also want to... Well, it's against the rats. Flock of Doom might be coming in handy here. And what do we have here? We have the lore pretty much maxed out, don't we? Let's get the cooldown time reduction. Alright, so we will do this. We will end the turn. And then we will attack and do our last fights. Kale Kano, I forgot you were moving. And I just talked about not having to deal with you guys again. But it's only the one army, so not a big deal. Alright, we're not going to bother waiting for all the text to be completed. There isn't really a need. What is this? Admittedly, I was not expecting this, but we already had the final fight for this army, so I think I'm just gonna auto-resolve. Yeah, it has 4 dragons, but we defeated two of the Vampire Coast armies under a legendary lord rather than a poor level 6. those dragons would get knocked out of the sky long before they threatened us. They've no chance here. Oh, the heck? Oh, wow, really? They bypassed... That's so stupid. What was the point? What was the point of that? Alright, you landed there. Good job. You're going to just die because Mazdamundi's right beside you, man. Alright, well, whatever. And just the AI being silly, especially since it's a red territory that we genuinely don't care about. Alrighty, and moment of done. Lovely. Ugh, what is this now? No, we don't need this. Oh, we could have added Manticuda riders to one of these. Shame. Would have been nice early as well. Anyway. Someone receives plague, don't care. Alright, Tic-Tac. Zlatata. Alright, so I would like you to besiege Kirakazgal. I'm thinking that maybe they will sally out now. It does say Pyrrhic victory, so there's a good chance that they will. Let's get the Sun Standard Chotek on... I'm gonna say the Central Charger. No, let's put it on the Gekalo Prime. Maybe. No, you know what? On the Central Charger, I like that more. Alrighty. Ooh, and these guys have some Hell Pit Abominations. Ooh, the Avalanche Mortars and Natty Bebo's Sharpshooters as well. Alright, Nakai, you're ready to go on in. Okay, these guys have leveled, but I guess we gotta wait one more turn, don't we? Alright, Tex, anything? Oh. I guess we might as well get the enhanced spawnkin for Croxies. Funnily enough, this all will buff Crox. Well, this would buff Croxigors further. Might as well let this be completed for Nakai. Just do this. Alrighty, then one more turn ending now. And oh, what do we have here? Garbage. Not as garbage, but not a comparison to Jarnagrund, certainly. Alright, end the turn now. I'm going to assume those rats will sally. Alright, Clan Moors, come on. Don't be cowards about it. Hopefully Queek will come back and lead the enemy this time, too. Alright, you guys are really annoying. I let you live with Mazdamundi. You're just gonna keep sacking this? Because we could kill you at any moment? Aw, Moors didn't sally out. You gotta be kidding me. I want to see that Gekalo Prime, though. Oh, what the heck do we attack now? They are too afraid. Orion, you don't like our friendliness with Khemri and stuff, whatever. Just go deal with Scarbrand. Alright, that took way longer than I was expecting. Alright, so in that light... What is this? Oh, it's the Gekko... I thought it would have ended. Oh, now we have the choice to either appease them or offend them and fight them, but we've already fought them, so whatever, just let them go. We don't care. Settlement sack, yada yada yada, there's a croc score thing. You... Pathetic cowards did not sally out. So, what are the options here? We attack it directly, but will it be cinematic? No, because it has the bloody back tunnels. Okay. We could spend like 10 turns moving towards Nagashazar. It'll take a long time, though. Frankly, it might be faster to just leave the settlement, allow the enemy to recruit for a few turns, and then attack. Alright, screw it. Alright, retreat... What? What do you mean you can't break the siege? Huh? What do you mean you can't break the siege? You're... What? And it's not saying why. Okay, you're being silly. Okay, well then, since it can't be a cinematic, I guess we're just gonna auto-resolve it and head to Nagashazar. Stupid though that is. Loot and occupied. Alright, since it's going to take 8 million turns to get to Nagashazar, I am going to make another cut while we travel. Alright, actually, slight change of plans. I was going to make a cut and then travel to this side, but I think this episode has already ballooned in length for a finale, so I'm going to... Well, I already said this at the beginning because of the double intro, but anyway, not important. I'm going to end this episode here. This will have been the semi-final episode, and the final episode will be next episode instead, wherein we will look to fight at Jarnagrund, Nagashazar, and the Black Pyramid of Nagash as soon as we come back. That way we won't need to do a super long cut, I suppose. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.